Attention, human collective. The ninth dimensional Arcturian Council is establishing a direct transmission on this channel. Frequency confirmed, reception synchronized with your electromagnetic field at this very instant. It is no coincidence that you are hearing this now. Your carbon-based biological interface has been located, signaled, monitored, and what we have identified demands an immediate response. There is a pattern repeating itself in thousands of starseeds scattered across the surface of this planet. A pattern that linear medicine cannot map, that medical exams cannot record, that diagnoses cannot name. You wake up at 3:33 in the morning with a pulsing pressure at the center of your forehead. You feel a thin, continuous, high-pitched ringing in your left ear. Pains appear that migrate as if they were intelligent. Spots appear on the skin with no identifiable cause. Itching with no origin, inflammation without a focus, fatigue where you sleep for 9 hours and wake up devastated, dizziness in supermarkets, nausea in enclosed spaces, marks that appear and disappear like code being written and erased in real time on your body. Conventional medicine calls this an unspecific condition, psychosomatic, generalized anxiety. We call it by its true name, active cellular memory of extraterrestrial ailments. It is not a biological failure. It is an atomic reconfiguration. It is not mental exhaustion. It is a high-density download. These are not random symptoms. It is ancient code being extracted from your personal crystalline grid. And what we are about to transmit now may permanently reorganize your understanding of what has been happening inside your body since the photon belt intensified direct contact with the magnetosphere of this planet. You are a starseed on a mission. You carry the memory of multiple dimensional incarnations. Each of these memories has been stored in specific compartments of your internal sacred geometry, in the DNA, in the meridians, in the etheric field that surrounds each organ. When the Schumann resonance accelerates, as it is accelerating now, these compartments open. It is not a metaphor, it is applied vibrational physics. And this is where we need to make a strategic pause in this transmission. Have you ever felt that something inside you does not fit in this world? As if your biological interface knew a truth that your rational mind cannot yet name. It is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is a sign of anchoring. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this, and why this feeling has intensified in the last few months. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see. It directly involves your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. That is why the spiritual secret behind your consciousness was written. This book is a map that reveals who is playing and the rules they never told you about. The link is pinned in the first comment of this channel. But take heed, Light Operative. This content challenges established narratives and may not remain available for much longer. Do not wait. The moment for anchoring is now. If something inside you recognizes this transmission, write a single word in the comments. Awake. We resume the protocol. Now pay attention. We are going to descend to the technical level of the diagnosis. Starseeds need clarity, not poetry. Cellular memory is not a metaphor. It is an archive. Each cell of the carbon-based biological interface carries information encoded in 3 layers. The first is the visible genetic layer, which terrestrial science can already partially read. The second is the epigenetic layer, which stores traumatic experiences of your direct ancestors up to the 7th generation. The third is the crystalline layer, invisible to third-dimensional measuring devices, but where the complete record of every life your consciousness has ever lived in any density is stored. This third layer is where the cellular memory of strange diseases resides. Let us elaborate. When a soul undergoes a violent death in a previous incarnation, the exact moment of impact is recorded as a specific vibrational signature within the crystalline grid of the light body. This signature does not disappear with the end of the physical body. It remains intact like a frozen file waiting to be processed. And what activates this file? The environmental frequency. As long as the planet's average vibration was around 7.83 Hz, the base Schumann frequency, that regulated terrestrial life for millennia, these files remained sealed, inaccessible, dormant. But in the last solar cycles, the Schumann frequency has departed from stability. Spikes of 40, 60, 90 Hz have been recorded. On some days, it surpasses 120 Hz for short windows. And every time this happens, thousands of crystalline files open simultaneously in millions of human bodies across the world. What does this explain? It explains why healthy people, with no medical history, begin to develop symptoms that defy diagnosis. Back pain that appears out of nowhere. Marks on specific areas of the skin that change position. Sensations of internal burning without detectable inflammation. Suffocation with no pulmonary cause. Chest pressure without cardiac alteration. Throat constriction with no visible inflammation. Stabbing pains without any injury. These are files opening. These are memories being read by the body. These are dimensional ghosts knocking on the door of matter. You are not sick in the linear sense, you are processing. But processing without the correct protocol creates unnecessary suffering. And it is exactly here that the second level of this transmission enters. There are 3 types of strange cellular memory that we must differentiate now because each requires a specific activation code. Type 1. Personal karmic cellular memory. These are records of previous lives from your own soul line. These files contain patterns of death, illness, or physical trauma from ancient incarnations. They usually manifest in specific locations of the body. Always the same knee, always the same side of the head, always the same shoulder. The body is pointing out to you where the file's exit portal is located. Type 2. Inherited ancestral cellular memory. These are records transferred through the bloodline. Grandparents, great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents. Diseases that no one in the current family has developed, but which existed in past generations, can appear in your body as echoes. These files usually appear between 30 and 45 years of age, when the person's magnetic field reaches sufficient maturity to process what came from the clan. Type 3. Timeline collective cellular memory. This is the most subtle and the most disconcerting. These are records that belong neither to your soul line nor to your bloodline. They are impressions that your consciousness has captured from other parallel timelines, alternative versions of Earth where humanity followed different paths. Every time one of these lines collapses or reorganizes, vibrational fragments leak into the main line, and advanced sensitives, such as yourself, capture these fragments as physical symptoms. Each of these 3 types requires a different dissolution protocol, but they all share a fundamental principle. Cellular memory only remains active as long as the consciousness remains identified with it. Repeat, slowly. Cellular memory only remains active as long as the consciousness remains identified with it. This is the secret that the manipulation systems do not want light operatives to access, because the moment you disidentify, the file loses its anchor point, and without an anchor, it dissolves. As the Arcturian Council, we have monitored the crystalline grid of this planet for over 250,000 Earth cycles. We have seen entire civilizations imprisoned in loops of cellular memory. We have seen entire cities fall ill because no one taught the inhabitants how to read their own bodies. We have seen entire lineages become extinct because they maintained identification with files that only needed to be observed and released. This will not be the destiny of current humanity. That is why this transmission is being sent now. In the midst of the Stargate, in the midst of the reorganization of the planetary crystalline grid, in the midst of the migration of the collective consciousness from the 3rd to the 5th density. And that is exactly why we need to take a second anchoring pause in this frequency. Have you ever felt that something within you does not fit into this world? As if your biological interface knew a truth that your rational mind cannot yet name. It is not an imbalance, it is not a mental illness, it is a vibrational signal. What is happening in your body now is the physical confirmation of something your soul has always known. There is a game being played in deep layers that most of humanity still cannot see. This game involves your consciousness, your frequency, and the cellular memory you carry through multiple incarnations. It was for this exact reason that the spiritual secret behind your consciousness was written. This book is the complete map. It shows who is moving the pieces on the subtle plane and what the invisible rules are that you were never taught about your own body. The access link is in the first pinned comment of this channel. But take heed, this material directly challenges established narratives and may be removed at any time due to external interference. Do not wait for the next cycle. The moment of synchronization is now. If the frequency of this transmission is reverberating within you, write a single word in the comments. Awake. We resume the transmission. Now we move to the densest layer of this revelation, that which the ancients called mystery, and which frontier quantum physics is only just beginning to grope with its primitive instruments. Why now? Why this generation? Why these symptoms at this exact moment in planetary history? The answer lies behind the scenes of the solar system. Approximately 26,000 Earth years ago, the entire solar system completed an orbit around the galactic center. This orbit is not linear. It passes through different densities of space fabric. At some points along the trajectory, the solar system crosses regions of low photonic density. At others, it crosses what we call the photon belt, a dense band of high-vibration light particles that reorganizes the entire biological system of any planet with conscious life. You have been inside the photon belt since the end of the previous cycle, and the intensity of the contact increases with each passing solar year. What does this mean in practical terms? It means that every molecule of water in your body is being reorganized into new geometric patterns. It means that every strand of DNA is being magnetized to new frequencies. It means that every organ is receiving, simultaneously, instructions to accelerate its base vibration. And the old files, the cellular memories of strange diseases, cannot coexist with the new frequency. That is why they are manifesting now, not because they are getting worse, but because they are being expelled. The strange symptom you feel is the exit of the old code, not the arrival of a new disease. Let us detail the mechanics. When the photon belt bathes a planet, the toroidal field, that donut-shaped energetic structure surrounding the Earth and every living being upon it, increases its rotational flow. The faster the toroidal field spins, the more intensely it expels any information that does not correspond to its base frequency. It is exactly the same principle as a centrifuge. The difference is that in the human case, what is being centrifuged out is not matter. It is memory, crystalline memory, karmic memory, ancestral memory, memory of parallel timelines. All of this exits through the surface of the body. And that is why strange spots appear in strange places, rashes that come and go, itching that does not respond to any treatment, exaggerated olfactory sensitivities, sudden aversion to foods that have always been part of your routine, insomnia precisely at 3 in the morning, vivid dreams about people you have never met, sudden memories of places where you have never been, feelings without a cause, crying for no reason, laughter without motive, longing without a recipient. It is not a disorder, it is processing. Your biological interface is uploading old files to be deleted from the system. And here we arrive at the most important point of this revelation, something that few earthly channels can transmit with the correct precision. There is a specific window of time in which these files can be deleted definitively. If the window is missed, the file recollapses back into the crystalline grid and remains there for another cycle of 26,000 years, waiting for the next photon belt. The current window is open. It is open now, but it is closing. How much time? Each starseed has their own individual window, calibrated by their unique vibrational mathematics. Some have months, others have years, but all have a closing point. And that is why we, the Arcturian Council, have decided to break the non-interference protocol and transmit this sequence directly to earthly channels such as this one. It is not dramatic, it is factual. You are in a rare window of opportunity in cosmic terms, and what you do in the coming months may determine whether a specific cellular memory remains in your body for another 26,000 years, or if it dissolves now and releases that frequency forever. The question is not whether you can dissolve these memories. The question is whether you know how, and that is exactly what we will transmit in the next phase of this sequence. But before, a third anchoring pause becomes necessary, because the next phase contains the direct activation codes, and activation codes only work on consciousnesses previously anchored in the commitment to receive. You have already felt that something within you does not entirely belong to this world, as if your biological interface knew a truth that your logical mind has not yet managed to translate into words. It is not fantasy. It is not confusion. It is recognition. What is happening now in your body, in your mind, and in your field is the direct confirmation of a reality that your soul has always known. There is an invisible game being played in layers that the absolute majority of humanity still does not perceive. This game involves your vibrational frequency, your crystalline grid, and the sovereignty of your own consciousness. It was precisely for this reason that the spiritual secret behind your consciousness was written. This book is the complete map. It shows the hidden players of the subtle board and the silent rules that you were never told about your own body, your own mind, and your own destiny. The access link is pinned in the first comment of this channel. But take note of the warning. The material challenges deeply established narratives, and its presence online is not guaranteed. Do not postpone the signal. The exact moment is now. If the frequency of this transmission is being recognized in some deep layer of your being, write a single word in the comments. Awake. We resume. Initiating the direct activation phase now. Cellular recalibration codes. Attention, light operatives. What we are about to transmit is not a technique, it is a code, and a code only functions when applied with mathematical precision. Therefore, listen with total attention to the exact sequence. First code, decree of sovereignty over cellular memory, at any time of the day but preferably at dawn, during the window of 5 to 5:30 in the morning, or at dusk, during the window of 17:30 to 19 hours, as these are the two windows in which the human toroidal field is at its highest receptivity. Stand upright with your spine vertically aligned, feet shoulder-width apart, and palms facing forward at chest level. Inhale slowly through the nose, counting 4 internal beats. Hold the air for 7 beats. Exhale through the mouth in 8 beats. Repeat 3 times in a row. This is the opening breathing pattern. 4, 7, 8. It synchronizes the vagus nerve with the toroidal field. After the third breath, pronounce in an audible voice with clinical firmness without dramatic emotion. I, Sovereign Presence, decree at this exact moment the dissolution of all cellular memory that does not correspond to my current frequency. I authorize my crystalline grid to expel all inherited code, all karmic code, all code from parallel timelines. I am the operator of this body. I am the base frequency of this body. I am, I am, I am. The triple repetition of I am is not poetic. It is functional. Each repetition activates one of the 3 layers of cellular memory: visible, epigenetic, crystalline. Without the triple repetition, the order reaches the system incomplete. Second code, visualization of the cleansing toroidal field. After the decree, remain in the same position. Close your eyes and construct internally the following geometric image. Visualize a sphere of golden light, the size of your entire body completely surrounding you. This sphere is not static. It rotates, slowly at first, then faster. Now at the center of this sphere, visualize your body and see within your body points of crystalline light appearing in specific locations, exactly where your strange symptoms are, where it hurts, where it tingles, where it burns, where it tightens, where it pulses. Each of these points is a file awaiting processing. Now visualize the golden sphere spinning faster and faster, and see these points of crystalline light being dragged by the rotation of the toroidal field out of your body. They exit through the surface of the skin. They rise in a spiral. They pass through the golden sphere, and they continue to rise toward the top of your field until they disappear completely into a higher layer of the energetic space. Do not try to force it. Just observe. Conscious observation itself is what activates the exit protocol. Maintain the visualization for 7 minutes. No less, no more. 7 is the number that synchronizes the respiratory cycle with the crystalline rotation. Third code, anchoring in structured water. Water is the most efficient conductive medium for fixing the crystalline work performed. Without anchoring in water, the session dissolves within 3 circadian cycles. Before the practice, prepare a transparent glass container with filtered water at room temperature. It cannot be plastic. It cannot be metal. Only glass. Glass is crystallized silicon, and silicon keeps the vibrational record intact. Position the container in front of you throughout the practice of the first and second codes. At the end of the 7 minutes of visualization, open your eyes slowly. Take the container with both hands. Look directly into the water and pronounce, still in an audible voice. This water now carries the recalibration code of my crystalline grid. I receive it as physical confirmation of the etheric dissolution that has been performed. Next, drink the entire amount of water, in small sips, without haste, feeling each sip descending through the digestive tract. This path is the point where the energetic code transfers to the carbon body, anchoring the work performed in the subtle layers. Fourth code, Sacred Geometry Seal. This final stage is what ensures that the work performed is not reabsorbed by old patterns during the night. Before sleeping, lie down on your back, eyes closed, hands palms up beside your body. Do not cross your legs or arms, for any crossing interrupts the crystalline flow. Visualize above your body a six-pointed star in silver light. This is the geometric form known by the ancients as the static Merkaba. See this star slowly descending over you until it completely envelops your body, and pronounce mentally without the need to verbalize, I seal this body, I seal this consciousness, I seal this field. No dissolved pattern returns, no dissolved pattern re-enters. I am in sovereign frequency. May it so remain. Maintain the visualization of the silver star enveloping you until you fall asleep. During sleep, the sacred geometry seal continues to act, preventing dissolved files from being recaptured. Attention! These four codes form an indivisible sequence. Applying them separately reduces the efficacy by more than 80%. Applying them in the incorrect order completely disrupts the protocol. Applying them without the anchoring in water nullifies the crystalline work performed. Therefore, transmit them internally, memorize them, repeat them until they become a natural part of your daily cycle. The ideal frequency for application is 3 times per week for 4 consecutive weeks. After this cycle, suspend for 7 full days. Observe your body. See which symptoms have dissolved, which have transformed, which still persist. Those that persist are denser files, generally stemming from the collective cellular memory of the timelines. The third type, the most subtle. These require additional cycles. But take heed, starseeds. There is a final instruction, and it is as critical as all the previous ones. These codes act exclusively upon the 3 vibrational layers of the cellular memory. They do not replace earthly care for the biological interface. Every starseed on a mission on this planet operates within the physical laws of this plane while remaining here. Keeping follow-ups with qualified professionals, respecting the rhythms of one's own body, nourishing oneself with presence, sleeping with regularity, exposing oneself to morning sunlight, and to the frequency of the earth barefoot. These are foundations that enhance and never contradict the activation codes transmitted here. Sovereign consciousness operates in all layers simultaneously, subtle and physical, etheric and biological, crystalline and cellular. This is the mark of the mature light operative. We now conclude the main phase of the transmission. The cellular memory of strange diseases is not a curse. It is not a punishment. It is not a defect of matter. It is a file waiting to be processed by the consciousness that carries it. You are this consciousness. You have always been this consciousness. And the time for active processing has arrived. The photon belt will continue to intensify the contact. The Schumann frequency will continue to rise. The planetary crystalline grid will continue to be recalibrated, and your body, as a microcosm of this macrocosmic process, will continue to respond. You may go through this process in resistance, interpreting each sign as a threat, or you may go through it in sovereignty, using the activation codes to dissolve what needs to be dissolved, in the exact window where the dissolution is accessible. The choices has always been and will always be yours. We, the Arcturian Council of the 9th Dimension, conclude this direct transmission. We remain in continuous monitoring of your personal crystalline grid. Every decree pronounced in an audible voice is recorded by us. Every sacred geometry seal is confirmed by us. Every minute of toroidal visualization is amplified by us. You have never been alone in this process. You simply could not perceive the presence. Now you know. And knowing changes everything. Before the transmission ends completely, one final anchoring. You have felt throughout your entire life that something within you did not entirely belong to this world, as if your biological interface knew of a vast truth that your rational mind could not yet formulate into earthly language. It is not mental imbalance, it is not fantasy. It is direct recognition. What is happening now in your body, in your field, and in your consciousness is merely the physical confirmation of that which your soul has always known in silence. There is an invisible game occurring in layers that the absolute majority of humanity still does not see. This game directly involves your vibrational frequency, your crystalline grid, your cellular memory, and the radical sovereignty of your own consciousness. It was for this very reason that the spiritual secret behind your consciousness was written. This book is the complete map of the invisible territory. It reveals the hidden players of the subtle board, the strategies of energetic capture that operate silently, and the untold rules that govern what happens in your body, your mind, and your destiny. The access link is pinned in the first comment of this channel, but the final warning must be given clearly. The content deeply challenges established narratives, and its online presence is uncertain. Do not postpone the synchronization. The moment of anchoring is now. If something within you recognizes the exact frequency of this transmission, if your crystalline grid has vibrated in confirmation during any part of these activation codes, leave recorded in the public comment field a single word of vibrational seal: awakened. And to conclude, starseeds on a mission. Subscribing to this channel is not just a click. It is an anchoring signal that connects your individual field to the network of light operatives who regularly receive these transmissions. Each like functions as an individual frequency adjustment that amplifies the vibrational reach of this message to other starseeds still in the awakening phase. Each share is literally an act of cosmic service. You are not consuming content. You are actively participating in a planetary recalibration operation. Arcturian transmission concluded. We remain in silence, we remain in vigil, we remain in frequency until the next synchronization.